Hello, world. This is Shohak Mustafiz. Welcome to Unshakable. I'm super excited today. I have an awesome guest joining from Canada. Without further ado, let me welcome Mr. Ashraful Hasan Ash. Hi, Ashraf. Hey, buddy. How are you?
Good, good. How are you? Long time no
Very
speak.
good.
And eventually we come up like with that discussion. Wow. You see, I'm so excited too. Thank you for inviting me here.
You are most welcome. The pleasure is all ours. Well, tell me, how is the weather in Canada, where you are staying? Where are you from? From which part of Canada?
That's the funny thing. Like you cannot compare like one region to another, so it's so different. But I'm now in Nova Scotia, near to the Halifax region. This is we call it like East. But it's I'm just having like the snow for the first time here. But surprisingly, this is not the regular case. It's supposed to be like way before. But it's storming in Toronto, like I used to live. I just recently moved here a few months now, but I used to live in Toronto like last more than 8 years actually. So the storm is there. I left the storm and then I'm in Nova Scotia right now, just having fun with the snow. But sometimes there is some hurricane happens here because the Atlantic is here, the ocean. But it's pretty fun now. We're waiting for the storm though, but there will be no storm. Hopefully, not good.
Excellent, excellent, great, great. I'm so glad that you made the time. I know how busy you are, but tell me, dear audiences, before I ask this question to my friend Ash, who has a wonderful nickname called Monir, and I had the privilege of going to the same business school, and it's been years that we didn't have this kind of chit chat, candid chit chat, and today I would love to take this opportunity online. So please bear with us. So Ash. Ash, tell me, how was your Christmas celebration? Actually, I know like you're a Muslim, but still you happen to celebrate that with your friends.
Oh, absolutely.
And how does the festivity look like in your area?
It's really, really great. I would say because it's mostly the community is kind of like involved with the celebrations so much, and yearly we get that opportunity for the Christmas, especially, and it starts really, really early November, I would say, and a lot of fun in the office setting. We do a Secret Santa, then we share our gifts, potlucks, and doesn't really matter. Like we had a party, Christmas party in my friend's house. There was like 7, 8 families from my own community. We get together and then we had fun, lots of foods. So it's always like festive is festive. Nothing much, in a sense that I don't celebrate. I do celebrate. I do celebrate whenever I get a chance. Can you hear me now? Are you there, Shwak? Here you go.
Ash, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Hello.
I Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Ash, sorry, buddy, it's the technology issue. We got disconnected for a while, but it's good that I'm back. Right. Sorry for the inconvenience caused. Right. So you hear me okay now?
I can hear you. Yeah, it's good. Sounds good. Yeah, everything's
Okay.
good.
Okay. Great. Great. Thanks, Ash. Thanks for your flexibility. Much appreciated. Okay. So the point I wanted to make, probably you are on leave, right? Until the first week of January.
Right, until the next year.
Oh, until the next year. Until the next year.
Yeah,
Right.
my
Right.
it's back.
Okay.
I say until the next year, I'm off. Then she said, "Oh, it's just few days. Like you feel like until the next year." I said, "Oh yeah, until the next year. I'm not wrong. I'm not saying wrong, right?" Anyway, yeah.
Sure. 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 Right. And how long have you been wearing that wonderful spectacle that I could see? I haven't seen that before.
No, I had that one from my 12th grade. Like I was in Notre Dame, then I had that spectacle, but I'm not always like kind of like fan of my spectacle, to be honest.
Hmm.
Rather than sunglass, probably I would like, but
Hmm.
like getting old, you don't have any choice. You have to get some support from the all the instruments all around you. So one of them really,
Mm.
the spectacle is the thing. Yeah, you have to. So now I can clear you much. So that's why I choose like, okay, I need to have a spectacle to
Hmm.
see. I'm just kidding.
Hmm. Right. Okay. Yeah, you look like more of like a university professor, although you're a banker. So we'll get to talk about it more, jokes
Yeah.
apart. Right. So Ash, what a phenomenal opportunity that we'll get to talk a number of things today. It's relatively an informal conversation, but please feel free to share as much as you want, and we'd love to pick your brain on some uh, on few cases. So just to begin with, Ash, why do you do what you do?
Mm. Um, Pretty heavy question, but I think it's pretty simple that if you don't go around like a lot of reasons that actually have, but yeah, you do something for your living first. I would say just be practical and realistic, and definitely something you need to have some connection with the passion that you love to do. Definitely that helps. That helps you to grow, and uh, pretty much that's it. I would say that's the main reason. Then you have to like something, have some connection with the work that you do, and eventually you try to develop and then learn, and you get the outcome. It comes automatic, like the return.
Wow, that's a wonderful answer. Right. So, Ash, just to give our audiences a bit of idea about your professional and your academic background, so would you mind sharing a little bit on that? Probably you can start with your academic credential
Oh, sure.
first, journey first.
100%. So basically, I'm from North Shingdi, like my home district. So I used to be in the government school over there, from the Kim Goft High School. And then I was in Nordham College for my 11th and 12th grades. Everything was like business background. And then I was in the University of Dhaka for business faculty. My bachelor was management studies, and after that I did my MBA in human resources management. After that, if I just keep telling you like my academics, so I came in Canada as an international student. That was also focused on human resources, so that is called PGDHRM, post graduation diploma in human resources management. Finally, I was so much fortunate um, to finish my another master's from York University in Toronto. So that was advanced masters I did. So that's pretty much my academic that I finished. There was some certification too in integrate my job. Like I was working in a bank. You already told. So there was some certification that you need to. We can have a discussion for that one, but yeah, that's pretty much my academic background.
Absolutely. Well, the another master's that you pursued from the York University. That sounds very interesting. And I remember when you were in the business studies faculty of Dhaka University, used to be one of the very bright students, and I used to maintain a very safe distance from bright students like you, and and you remember, but we were fortunate because we for a couple of semesters we had we belonged to the same group actually.
Mhm.
So
We worked there
and
a lot, right? Like, like to be honest, like so far I remember like we started the journey together from the very beginning. Like we went to the university, so still I remember like we sit in the library office, like library room, and then we have always the discussion like how to improve those things, how to improve English, how to work something different. So still I don't forget. You're that person, you're that person, and now I see you are here, so I'm proud of you too, man.
Thank you, thank you. Actually, I used to maintain a safe distance from the very bright student, but in your case, probably it was different because of your uh, what should I say? Your the way you used to be with us, and you used to make fun, and we did some drama together. And I remember that was a part of one of our courses,
Of course, right?
grapevine session, and
God.
you acted like a police officer. You rode a bike and motorbike, and you wore the sunglasses and police dress. That outfit made you look very professional. I just remember that very much.
No, you
Do you recall that, Munir?
the
Ash?
part of our BBA journey with Selim Buya sir. I mean, like we had to act. So probably I remember, like in my lifetime, one time I was competing for an acting reason, extracurricular. I know, even surprisingly, I was the champion in the competition, and that's the end. I never acted like as an actor or something, and that was my second time we did like together. So that was amazing. Oh, still I remember. Wow, yeah, that was a good memory, to be honest.
Yeah, that was right. So going back to that professional thing now.
Mhm.
So yeah, obviously you had a very illustrious academic background, and you managed to be in the Dean's Award list, both for your bachelor and masters while being a student of Dhaka University, and
Oh,
later you also
yeah,
yeah
but
yeah
Dean's honor list and Dean's merit list, that was for
yeah
my MBA in HRM.
Yeah, that's a spectacular achievement for any student. Yeah, right. I knew that Ash, you'll be doing so well, and which I can see now. And well, why don't you tell us a little more about your professional background for our audiences? You obviously started your journey in Bangladesh, then now you have a global career. So why don't you tell us the career? How did you start? Where you worked? What were your major, lessons learned? If you want to touch base on those aspects as well, so please feel free.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. Probably that's gonna be like the long list, though. Or like controversial. Like, okay, I used to be like in a situation where people around me like used to ask me, okay, why did you change the job? Why you are going there? So at that time, probably I was not quite a bit sure like why I'm doing it, but I had a mindset at the time. But I will come to that story. But people don't get bored like, okay, Ashraf, you're doing this, so kind of like this. So I started with bdjobs.com, like after we finish our BBA, so we have to go for like our internship. So I had an offer from the HSBC for doing my internship, but fortunately I was able to manage to get a job. Like there was a career campus in our faculty by bdjobs.com, and BD Jobs actually was hiring me as a service development executive. So I would say that was a big move in my career, because that helped me a lot to make my decision like where should I focus. So whenever I was working with BD Jobs, I had to do a research on their services. And then there was an opportunity that I went through so many different organizations, so many multinationals, local pharmaceuticals, uh, and different industries too. So every time I was meeting someone in HR, human resources. So at the same time, whenever I was doing my research, I had one question for the professional. So why do you do the HR, and what is the prospect? So that is the leverage you take, like whenever you get an opportunity like this. So I found, based on the conversation with the professionals in HR, that there was a lot of gap there, because the transition from admin to HR was kind of like easier, but the real HR was not there, which actually we learned like strategic HR, like business HR or something like this. Then I have an idea like, okay, so probably that's gonna be the my turning to my academic or my professional goal, something like this. Then I came up with my mind like I'll do my MBA in HR. So then I did my HR at the same time, because it's a huge load, in MBA. Like you said, like I had to take all this load because I had a different mindset to go above my capacity with the academic part, and it was a lot of load from the teacher, like the faculty too. And by this time, I asked BD Jobs to offer me for the part time for now, but unfortunately, the position was not quite feasible for the person to run as a part time employee. Then then I got by this time I got another offer to work with the project in Force corporate. So but there was the project to work as a assistant manager for the marketing and build up their module, and also make some marketing things and also some presentation to the corporate to sell the product. So that was quite flexible for me, because the person, I should mention the name, Joel Bhai, he was quite flexible with me because he knew that I was quite a bit busy with my MBA. Then he said, "What about the time you can manage? You can be a part of this journey, please." So that helped me a lot to build up some more exposure to the corporates. So that time I worked for almost like a year during during my MBA time. Yeah. So after that, suddenly there was an opportunity for the advertisement in the bank. Like I was always in a mindset that, okay, I'm a student. If the result comes, it's positive. If not, it doesn't hurt. So I was always a person to take some chances. So I appeared the exam for the banking, like Uttara Bank, and I was selected. Then I have decided, why not? Let's take it. But the posting was quite a bit challenging because they sent me in Maniganj. But yet I'm not done with my MBA, and I had a lot of focus on my MBA to do something really, really good. Then still I was going to the office early in the morning at 6:30. I came back night, and that's how I made a whole plan, like how many classes I need to attend. But nobody knew. Our faculty is not kind of like giving the space to be involved in professionally, even though they want us to be professional. That's kind of like confusing thing. Like they want us to be professional, but they don't want us to involve with the professional thing. So that's kind of like interesting thing. But eventually, I was able to continue with Uttara Bank. At the same time, I had always a mindset to work in a broader aspect with more responsibility and workload. So MNC was my goal, to be honest. At the same time, I had an opportunity to give an interview with Huawei as an admin position. So whenever I went to the interview, and then the HR head, whenever they took my interview, a couple of people were there. Like they said, "Oh, Ashraf, I we can see you can be a good addition to our team in human resources." So I was so surprised, to be honest. Like it was like out of blue. And I said, "Okay, probably I had my goal that I will be a part of the admin, and eventually I will try to move to human resources." So, but it's coming like in advance. I said, "Wow, okay, yeah." So definitely, I'm interested. Like my background in HR, and then so they said, "But if you want to be an HR, then we need to go through the whole process again for the interview." I said, "Definitely, I'm interested." So there was like 7 8 layers of interviews and presentation, and then meeting with the CEO, so many different things. So that was awesome. That was a good experience, I would say. And I was hired as an HR executive with Huawei Technologies. That was a good move, because Huawei was at that time was second in the world, but after the Ericsson, but now they are the number one in the whole world in the telecom industry. So that was a good move in my career, I would say, because I have learned so much in the management system, too much work, how to manage your time, how to manage stress and everything. So that's positive because in my age, I would say. And after that, I went to Rome Afros. So they have like 18 SBOs. We called it Strategic Business Unit. So they have solar energy. So there was like two parts of the solar, but one was the marketing side. But I was working in a human resources management in solar industry for Rome Afros as an assistant manager. There I joined as an assistant manager, but the interview was kind of the same in Huawei. Um, I had the conversation with the executive director for the position of senior officer. And at some point, he was saying, Ashraf, like, let's do one thing. I'm going to give you the assistant manager position because it's a special project. You need to work with a lot of change management, but you need to give me the commitment that you're going to stay here. I said definitely, because he said like I'm giving you the promotion right away before 3 years. Because if you get the position as a senior officer, you need to wait 3 years by our policy. But I think like you are more than ready to be an assistant manager. I said okay, like good money, good position. Why not? So that was
Excuse me, sorry to interrupt you. It's
yeah.
quite an unusual incident. Actually,
I would say
it's overwhelming, and
yeah.
it's one of a kind, right? And it's unbelievable. Like during the interview, somebody is
Giving you the
offering you, like a senior level position. Sounds like a go-getter. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's why I was mentioning those things, like because one of the points actually was giving me some extra vibe in my mind that I need to do better. Because like somebody is giving you something, you need to realize that they have some kind of belief on you, and then you have to prove that okay, you have to do it. That's the way you set up your mindset, and that's the way you move ahead. So that's why that was quite a bit motivating for me to take that position, and that was really good. That was a really good experience in my life. Like I visited the whole country during that time. I was there for more than 3 years. I visited like 48 districts, and like it's a rural service foundation, so mostly the areas I was visiting there, they didn't have any electricity, because it's a solar business, right? So in at some point I was thinking I went to an area where I couldn't even keep my sunglasses in my eyes because it's really really hot. And whenever I went to the business location, like the unit we used to call, they said, sir, for the last 5 years nobody was here even from the operation, so how dare you come here? So I love to visit, I love to travel. That's probably was helping me a lot, because I was even visiting Borishal, Sylhet, like that. The way I came in last night from Borishal, next morning I went to Sylhet. My GM was saying, "Oh, Ashraf, you just came in last night. Are you sure you can go like tomorrow morning?" I said, "Okay, you can try. Let's see," because like every time you go some places, you see a lot of things. I went to Bogura in North Bengal. I had a lot of idea in Rangpur. Sylhet was one of my favorite places, actually, to be honest. So good. So I went Borishal, I went Potuakhali, I went Maniganj, I went Maimunshik, Netrokona, Jamalpur. So all these places have like different things. They have like different culture, different special items, like food wise, place wise. So I had a fascination to see so many things. Still, I do have the same, to be honest, but I do feel like I don't have much repent in my life that okay, I miss my country. I miss my country, but not that way that I miss this position, those places or those areas. Because overall, I visited so many places. Yeah, and eventually I
Hmm.
was joining with the CP. This is one of the biggest. I would say they are the number one in Asia in agriculture industry, because they don't have much exposure in the market because they do the business B2B, not B2C much. Recently they
Hmm.
started their franchisee for the chickens and everything, so I was the head of hiring and sourcing for with them. There was a quite a bit challenge position because they have like so many different types of business lines: parent stock, grandparent stocks, fertilizer.
CP, it's a Thai large food chain, right?
Right,
Okay.
they are the biggest in Asia. Even if
Okay.
like China doesn't have that big in the agriculture industry. Easily, they are the biggest in all aspect.
Mhm.
But in Thailand, the CP is the biggest. I mean, like at least at the time I was working with them, I knew. So they have like farms, feed mills, hatchery, eggs, chicken, fish, fertilizer. So they have a lot of business. So as an hiring manager, you have to hire all those different people. That was so much fun. Like I went to the farms and then I was staying in there like few days just to see, like, because every time I get a complaint from the business heads that, oh, you guys hire people, they don't stay. Like I came to know like there are like 12 people who was in there for the last 1 and 2 years in the same position. They couldn't add up to the like
Mhm.
they couldn't perform like with as an HR manager or something, like to bringing all these people because they don't have any pipeline, they don't have any enough people. So I thought, okay, why don't I start from the bottom? So let's go to the farm, let's see what's happening there. So it's both ways. It helps, like, the business, and plus you can have some fun because the farm is so good. The quarantine word, we came across like the quarantine word so much now, right, because of the COVID. But at that time I had that idea
Yeah.
because whenever I went to the farm, I had to stay outside of the farm a few days before I go to the farm,
Mhm.
and they never allow
Okay.
to the actual place like the chickens are there because of the quarantine. So you're gonna be having so much spray on your body, shower and everything before you enter to the farm. Um,
Mhm.
lots of fun, lot of learning. Like I had double.
And chicken was free, I guess.
So the eggs are
You
free,
get
yeah.
to work, chicken is free, right?
No, they cook
Yeah.
good. They cook good. It's the environment is really,
Yeah.
really.
It's
Only the thing,
really tasty. Yeah.
it's confined. You cannot get out from the farm. If you wanted to get out as a person, then you have to take leave like 10, 15 days probably, and then you come back. You have to stay a few days before you actually go to the work. So it's a little harder, I would say. So like that's how I came to know like why people doesn't stay there, like why they don't want to stay there. So whenever I took all the interviews, I was quite a bit open to them and transparent that like this is the life there. So there's a lot of fun too, but there are some challenges too. So are you okay, are you willing to take the challenge? So that's how I managed people to have their confidence on the job. It's not a cultural shock for them whenever they go to the place, and the retention rate was really, really high, and then the turnover went down. And finally I decided to come to Canada. Then I had to leave my job. And that's why
Mhm.
I said, like, whenever I'm going to tell you my story for the job, it's going to be a lot. I came in Canada as a student, but at the same time.
Excuse me, Ash. Ash, before you cover that Canada part, so let me ask you quick question. Is it okay, like if I ask you some follow
Oh,
up question on your Bangladeshi part? Because sounds like you are a go getter, very driven, right? Especially the Rohima Afro job that you took, and it made you travel across 48 districts out of 64 in Bangladesh,
right.
literally the whole country, right?
Almost, yeah.
And it was not easy. Like you kept on traveling, right? And again, then you were back in the office.
Right.
You're doing your work, lots of things to finish, and then you switch in the CP one. That's also very interesting, right? So, and I remember at that time you were very young, right? And what made you take those challenge, and how did you prepare yourself? Like what kept you? Where did you get the hunger, the drive, the passion to go for it? Because it's not very easy, right? When somebody, for instance, I even remember like during my early days, if I would ask to go for traveling too many districts, it's like, yeah, I used to enjoy traveling, but when I heard that like I have to travel this many districts, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to travel that much. But as a requirement of your job, you had to extensively travel, and it was not very easy. Doing a bit of restructuring, change management, also hiring the right kind of skill set, mindset on board. I mean, making sure that they're on board on time. So it was quite a hectic, it's a happening place, right? But at the
Right.
same time, you were very young, and how did you manage it? And I understand truly that those things literally made you who you are today, and you went for those tough assignments. But I'm very keen to hear, like, did you read some interesting books, or you had a mentor, or it's your mom, like, who kept you going, who kept you motivated? So please tell us more about it, because I'm sure this video, today or tomorrow, like a number of young people, they will get to watch it. I'm sure this will tremendously help them get prepared
Um,
going forward. Thank
that's
you.
part, like, to be honest, yeah, you bring up a really, really good point. Like, what actually was focusing, what was the drive was in me? Definitely, you answered one thing because you said I was young, so you answered for me. In that case, I was young, and like, I don't know. Still, I'm trying to remember like what actually was pushing me that much to do all these things and helping me to grow up. So I would say the mindset is so important. Like, we are always focused on something, probably not that is so important. One thing I can say, I can tell the name of Prakash Roy Chaudhary. Like, he was the guy of head of marketing from BD Jobs. The first thing I had the chat with him, because one thing I learned from him, he said, whenever you take the interview, what is going to be your question? Like, every time we take the interview, we ask the question to the incumbent, the candidate. Oh, do you have any questions? So I was asking him, what should I answer that as a candidate? He said, you know, you will get the money, you will get the remuneration, definitely, but why don't you ask for something that relates to your development, because that shows how you're focusing on your life. So uh, always my question was like about my training, my development, the support, but it depends on different positions, different industry, different background. The second thing, I was always involved with activities that is also helping me a lot to lead in my surroundings, because I was a chief editor of Boys of Business at some point. I was publication secretary for Management Club. In 2003, I was the best cricket player in Dhaka division whenever I was in Nordham College. So I was so much involved with activities, so much involved with extracurricular. So whenever you are involved with so many activities, that's how you get more exposure. So you get so many different situations then you need to adapt with. That's how you build up your leadership. So you work, you learn, and then you can relate, and then you can deliver. So that's the process in there. So we always scared to be involved. That's one thing. I would say we don't need to, because we always scared to make mistakes. But I to be honest, I don't think so. Like, you make mistakes, you learn. If you don't add time, you don't learn. So why don't you do multiple things? I always say the name Opi Korim. She's an actress. She's from Buet. She's Lux Photogenic. She is doing really good in modeling. So one person as a package, they did a lot. The person is doing a lot. So how come it's possible? Even if you take the name of Lata Mangeshkar, she is sing. She has like so much song, like 40, 50,000 songs on her own names. How they did it? At some point, whenever you do it, at some point you don't need to put like same efforts to do something, because you already built up your skill. So it takes less than before. That's how you keep focusing doing something different, and keep focusing doing something new. That's how you build up your profile. I'm tired. Let's say I'm tired doing my own job as an assistant manager in my office. How come my managing director is managing the whole business? It's a huge business, billion dollar business. But the same day, it's 24 hours a day, for him, it's a 24 hours a day for myself too.
It's a great point.
Right? How do they do it? So that's how you build up. So that's how you grow. That's how you get promotion. Like you need to prove yourself that you are ready for the next level. And that's how, the interviews I told you, like a couple of interviews like happened to me. Like I was going for some position, but they are offering me even higher. So probably they had that idea, like with a reflection that, oh, you did it before, it seems like you can do it, why don't you get more? So that's going to be important. Like keep doing it.
Mhm.
Don't be scared of doing mistakes. Don't be scared of doing nothing. Like people sometimes, you do attend something, a lot of talk, or
Mhm.
it's a lot of noises. Always,
Mhm.
it's not their fault who is making the noises, because you are doing something abnormal, you are doing something unusual, which is out of the box. So definitely it's going to create some noises around you. But now you need to know how to put your soundproof in your ear. Keep
Mhm.
focusing on your things you are doing. And at some
Mhm.
point, whenever they're going to see you successful, they're going to come to you and appreciate. They are a good person. They are good people. They are not against you. They are actually kind of like victim of the situation, of their experiences, of their exposure, because they don't see it. So whenever they don't see it, anytime you go somewhere, like in the jungle, if
Mhm.
you don't never saw the crocodile, probably you're gonna see the crocodile, you're gonna be scared. Oh my god, it's a
Mhm.
crocodile, right? But if you live in the zoo, like you are a curator in there, you see every day, you provide food to the crocodile. You don't say, oh, crocodile is my friend, So that's how they are making all these noises. So you don't focus
Mhm.
on noises, because they are seeing something unusual. That's why they are making all these noises. It's okay,
Mhm.
but don't blame them. But you need
Mhm.
to keep focusing on moving forward. But at some point,
Absolutely.
and then appreciate.
Mhm.
I don't know. Other than that, I don't know. Other
Mhm.
than that, somebody else, every person has some different mindset, different focus, different gaining, different way to gain. So it's a one way. Probably that's not the only way, right? So we need to figure out like
Mhm.
how many ways it could be. So that's called accommodation. You accommodate all
Mhm.
ideas and everything, and you find your own way. That's the way you should move forward.
Excellent, running your own race, right? So Ash, this is super exciting that you mentioned one thing, that is, you were extensively engaged with extracurricular activities during, even from the very outset of your student life, particularly
Right.
when you were in college. I didn't know that you used to play cricket as well,
Oh,
and
I was really,
right, that's brilliant.
yeah. 2003, I was the best player in Dhaka division. Like Sharinoff is the
Wow.
of Bangladesh cricket team at the time.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, he used to
that
be the opener, right? He was
Yeah,
from
yeah.
our batch, I guess, right?
The captain of, he's the manager right now. He's really really good player. So at the time I was the captain of Northern College. He was the vice captain, because he was just 1 year junior to us, but he was amazing. So I had a connection with him. So we played. Why actually I was mentioning his name, because it's a process. Like he used to get the training from the beginning, because he has that background. He was really good. So, but I was not that kind of like trained up from the beginning. I was just playing. I love playing cricket, football, okay. So many different games. Like I was always a player, kind
Mhm.
of, like I love to play. So cricket
Mhm.
was one of the most
Mhm.
gaining part, like in my life. Like I was,
Mhm.
whenever my name was coming to the newspaper, I was feeling like, wow, okay. But
Wow.
when I couldn't continue, there was
Mhm.
some reason. But I love cricket.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Wow, Monir, thank you for revealing that information. Right, it's brilliant, brilliant. So it's a paradox that if you, a player can be a good student, right? Can score well in the exam, right? You are a fantastic example of that. So Ash, I'm going back to that overseas part of your career, but
Mhm.
before that, is it fair to say that if I ask you what were some of the reasons behind your success, like in Bangladesh career, and what I understood, that you clearly mentioned your extracurricular activities, your willingness to learn, even to serve, and built a network. You engaged with multicultural people, and you tried different things, and you did the hard part, right? You kept on trying all the time, so that made you who you are today. So it's fair to say, right, Munir?
Oh, 100%.
Sorry, I'm saying Monir and Ash both because he has got a nickname called Monir.
I know. I know.
Hope my audiences can understand it. So, Ash, is it fair to say?
Oh, 100%. I would say
Okay,
that. Yeah.
okay, great. Thank you. So now we are moving on to the next part that you wanted to touch base briefly, and I stopped you there. So you had quite a growing career in Bangladesh, right? You started with BD jobs, then you worked for uh, Rohima Afroch, then Huawei, CP, and all these organizations. And what made you go to abroad in Canada
Mhm.
and start building a new career out there? Although you were doing well in Bangladesh, what was the drive? What was the reason behind it? If you can tell us a little bit about it.
Um, yeah, quite pretty simple. I told you, like, I'm a traveler. I love to travel. I love to see different things in different areas. So my idea was like, if you have like Canadian citizenship, probably you can travel a lot, and you're not going to be a local citizen. You're going to be a global citizen. And like you need to be more willing to contribute to the society, or probably um, at the base of your capacity. So I would say I was doing good in a sense in Bangladesh. I mean, like I would say it's kind of like standard, but I felt like, why don't I get more exposure? So Canada would be my best option to um, get in good exposure, to learn more, to see how the world is moving. And that was the first part. Then I come up, let's say, let's try. Then I moved to Canada.
Right. Okay. So you moved in Canada. So you had a more of like a blank canvas, right? So you were in charge of coloring it on your own. And what I was startled knowing that you got your citizenship by this time. Probably you are one of the youngest Bangladeshi strugglers going to a developed country like Canada, managed to have his citizenship within such a short period of time. This is like a miracle happened, right? So I'm so glad that you did it, my friend. Congratulations. I know how passionate you are about our home country, Bangladesh, and you have traveled across the whole country. You wanted to be a global citizen. That's what made you, since you love traveling, that's what one of the, it was one of the reasons why actually you made a choice of going to Canada. And you kept on pursuing some degrees. And what was the first job you got in Canada, and what it takes from your experience? I know you are quite very humble man, but I really don't want you to deprive us from hearing these insights. Like, what from your experience, like what made you uh, become successful in your career in Canada as well, and what were some of the opportunities that you had in your early days? How did you tap into those opportunities, or any lesson learned if you want to share for our audiences? Please go ahead.
Yes. So I mean, like, first of all, like, I was always kind of like in my reservation not to be so public, because like there are a lot of people. I personally know them. They are really really successful. They are really really doing great, and it seems like I'm talking. I was not kind of like comfortable to talk all my things in front of the public, as long as I don't know it's a widespread audience, right? So let's say you go to the young professionals, to the students in a classroom sitting, and then you tell them. That's more comfortable for me than to be public in the Facebook, because I know, like, personally I respected them. They're really really good. But yes, definitely I would love to share my things. So the first question you asked me, like, what was my first thing whenever I started? So I I initiated to come as an permanent resident here, but unfortunately at the time there was no opening for human resources. So we call it like NOC, NOC 12. So at the time there was no opening for the human resources professional in Canada to be immigrant as a permanent resident. So then I have decided, okay, let's try as a student. So I came as a student, international student. So at the same time, whenever I came in, with the PGDHRM program, within 3 months there was opening. The new gadget was passed by the government of Canada, so it was quite a bit quick to see these things and then attempt. I told you I try to. I always love to try to take some chances. So I took the chances actually. So within 3 months, I applied for permanent residency, even being as an international student. So it went well, and then within 9 months, I got my permanent residence. So because that actually helped me from the background, like the credentials I had back home, because I was a manager there. So there was a requirement to be a manager in human resources at least 1 year. So that's why I always say it's miracle thing. Like because whenever you come as an international student, so you need to go through a little bit more time because you're gonna finish your school, then you apply for the work permit, then you work, then you apply from the experience class for the permanent resident, then you get the permanent resident. So usually it takes like few years, 3, 4, 5 years, and then you need to stay a couple more years, sometimes more, to be citizen. But in my case, was that's why I said like it's always kind of like miracle that I got my permanent residency so soon after being here, and eventually my citizenship also was done within 2 years. So being an international student is quite a bit unusual to see someone getting citizenship in Canada within 3.5. So thanks God, that helped me a lot. That was the story part. And you said, what did I do? Whenever I was in college, I was a peer tutor at the very beginning, because at the time we were not allowed to work um, as an international student for the first 6 months. Now they can work like unlimited, but at the time it was forbidden. So, but you can only work in campus. So my score was really good in the college. Um, then I have decided, okay, why don't I apply for peer tutor? So I was peer tutor. I had like a couple of local students from here, like they are my classmates though. So that was my first thing. And after that, I moved to Toronto, and then I found one person who was working as a manager in TD, and then I was connecting with him whenever I opened my account. So that's how I get connected with him, and then eventually I was asking him, is there any way that I can get an opportunity to have an interview? So he was giving me always courage, and he was boosting me up. So I was waiting that moment. So at some point after a year, almost like a year, he was saying, "Oh, Ashraf." So I was the key point was I was not leaving him. It's not something that I was bothering him, but every time I see sometime I have to do some banking or anything, I was trying to connect with him just to say hi, hello, how are you? These are the things. So at some point he said, okay, we have an opening. You can apply. So I was so happy to get that opportunity to have that interview with the branch manager. So like what was like the key point here was all the questions. It seems like it's an open book questions for me, because I used to work in deep, like in human resources for long with few multinationals, and like I used to develop all the recruitment system, interview system, like star interview, competency based interview, then psychometrics and everything. So whenever they ask those questions, I feel like, okay, those are the questions I used to ask. So it seems like I knew, but no, you're not going to be overconfident. That's why I was always trying to find something concrete to them. So luckily, I got the opportunity. It started from the bottom, like you were a manager dealing with $1,700 million portfolio as a hiring manager, and then you start as a teller again. So it's a big shift. It's a mindset, like probably sometimes you're gonna think, okay, I should do this, and why should I do this? But you need to capitalize on your capacity or your ability. That helps. So I started as a teller, but within 8 months I was an FSR. Then within a year I was an advisor. Then I was an senior advisor. Then within 2 years I was manager of customer experience. So then now I moved to another managerial position. So that happened so quick. Within 5, 6 years now, in banking industry, I got almost like 4, 5 promotions. So I would say that was helping. That actually doesn't come automatic. So it came from my previous background too. And I did my education. So I always focus on their things, like how they deliver, how they're doing. So because it's a huge market, right? Like the people are coming in Toronto, like from more than 200 countries. They're all talented people. They're here. I'm competing with them. So you need to have an open mindset, like how you're gonna be competing with them, not being thinking, oh, okay, I'm from Bangladesh or something. You need to think about yourself, like how I can deliver. So that was my career. So I work as an investment advisor, consultant, we used to call the name, and also as an operation manager at the branch. Now I'm working as an estate manager in the branch. So it's all about retail, but um, it has some touch with my previous background, like people development, people work, because I need to coach my team members. I need to evaluate their performance. I need to manage their time, and then I have to guide them for business. And there are a lot of operational things too, compliance, branch operation. So it's a back and forth, like service side, sales side, both. So yeah, pretty much that's the journey that I had in Canada for the last 6-7 years.
Excellent, super exciting, Monir. I'm being very energized listening to your wonderful insights and wisdom and the career path, the journey that you have experienced so far. This is amazing. So, Ash, why don't you tell us, like, when you try entering into the Canadian job market? So, is there anything that you learn which appeared to be a life lesson for you, and you want to share with the prospective Bangladeshis or people from this part of the world trying to settle in a developed country like Canada?
To be honest, with the Canadian perspective, I would say job market is kind of like squeezed up. Not that much job we see in Canada. In a sense, it's more technical. Like if you have engineering background, then you do really have good chances. But still, you need to do some certification. So here is a interesting thing. So in Canada, anything you do, probably it's for all the developed countries too. I'm not 100% sure, but in Canada, anything you do, you have to have your license.
Mm,
So that means, like, even if you go to the roadside to beg, you're gonna play the music, right? You see all those things, right? You're gonna play the music, the guitar or anything, float. You have to have a license. So because
wow.
you cannot bother people, like just doing like guitar doesn't make sense, right? So we always have fun, like with this conversation. Oh, do you have a license? You don't do something. Oh, do you have a license? So that is a fun part of act in,
Okay.
like whenever I did my investment, so I had to do IFIC, I have to do PSA, I had to do CSI, and then BCO. There are a lot of stuff. I'm not giving the whole details, to be honest, because I'm just giving like the vibe that you have to have all these learning. So it's a process. The first question you asked, like the challenges, right, to be a newcomer in Canada to find a job. So you have to have patience. So it's more like cultural thing than do the actual thing, because usually people come from outside, they already have that nice background, technically strong, they have really, it's not only me, like, oh, I used to work in few multinationals, it's all the people, like if you one by one, almost like those who are like immigrant here, like with the economic class, they have like really good background, that's why they are here. Now the journey starts from learning the system in Canada. Now, the language in Canada is not all about like English, like how much English, how much volume you speak, how much English you can speak, how many different sentences you can make. It's not that English. It's an accent. It's a cultural thing. How do you respond? What is your body language? What is your gesture? What is your posture? How do you contact people? How do you build up network and your eye contact? So that it takes time. It takes a little time. I see a lot of talented people, they just came in and right away within 1-2 months they clicked, they got the job. So they are smarter, so that's why they get the job. So I always take their names, to be honest. So these are all so important, like how you are integrating your capacity, your skills and everything to the actual system, because you are bringing all those. But here is one of the another important thing is the platform. You see people are coming here, let's say in total from more than 200 countries, but they are behaving in the same way. Like you are driving,
Hmm.
I used to drive in Bangladesh like in the left, the right side the steering, right? But now I drive in left side the steering. So
Let's say, yeah.
if you come and say, okay, I used to drive, there was no problem, I'm going to drive in the right side steering and in the left side of the road, what's going to happen? You're going to die. So first of all, you need to learn like how you're going to integrate to the system, like how you're going to be driving. Okay, what is the rules are here for the driving, then I'm going to follow. So that's how the system is built here. um, People are coming from different culture, different languages, different countries, different situations, so many different things. But whenever they are here, they are behaving in the same way, at least
Mhm.
following the system, the rules and regulation, and then they are bringing their talents.
The
So that
standards, the standards are quite high, so people are expected to adhere to those standards,
oh, 100,
regardless of their background, which country,
right.
color, age, yeah,
It,
sexual orientation, whatever.
they
Yeah,
build up that system the last 100 years. So definitely we can bring something new, but definitely need to be more confident to bring something new in the system, because like if the system has built for the last few 100 years, so it's working
hmm,
and people are happy here. So you need to learn the system first, then you bring your new things. But if you come and right away you try to do something of your own, probably not. That's the best way to approach to the system.
excellent. That's a great point. Ash, do you mean that like people need to be flexible, agile, and adaptive when
and
they are trying to enter into a developed country like Canada?
curiosity too, to learn. If you are not curious to learn, to see the system,
Curiosity. Okay.
you are
Hmm.
ignoring. That's gonna put you in
Hmm.
debt. Like, because like in this country, like if you have a record on your name, that stays with you, and
Hmm.
that has some negative impact on your whole life. So
Hmm.
you have to be careful. It's a beautiful country, it's a beautiful culture, everything is so good, but you need to enjoy the beauty. If you don't say, oh, I don't
Hmm.
like the beauty, so you're gonna bring something so-called
Hmm.
beauty, then you have to be careful. Yeah, you can bring it.
Hmm.
I'm inviting everything. I say I
Hmm.
do myself too, but at the same time I'm cautious
Hmm.
before I
And you
implement
gotta
something.
be being respectful is the best way, right, to
Right.
the established system and procedure. Yeah, we got the answer. Thank you, Ash. It's very thought provoking. Right. So, Ash, if you can switch our discussion a little bit on a philosophical side. Oh
Oh,
my gosh, I didn't realize that 1 hour has been passed. Do you have time, a little more time to continue
um,
discussing?
no problem. I'm on my break, Christmas break. But I don't know, like I don't
Okay.
bother the audience. Like they have a passion, they have something to do. I don't know. Probably they have something important to do, right? So I don't want to take so much time from them. Thank you very much for listening, whoever is listening.
All right, thank you, thank you. We know that the good part is like this video will remain on our social media platforms,
Oh,
including YouTube channel later on. So people will keep coming back actually. So it's not about a group of fixed audiences, those who are watching in the real time. It's also about for the forthcoming or future audiences who might get tremendous value out of that. Personally, I am getting a lot of value out of our discussion,
mhm.
right? And hopefully they will get this meaningful as well going forward. So Ash, if we move to a different dimension now, a bit of philosophical, right?
Okay.
And I can realize that being a go-getter type personality, and you took chances. You kept on saying like you took chances, you took different initiative, you tried different things, and from your student life, I had the privilege of seeing you from your student life. Now you are settled in a foreign country, right? And throughout this whole journey, I'm sure you have seen a number of so-called leaders, and you have your own leadership philosophy. Okay, so
Right.
why don't you shed a bit of light on that? How do you define leadership? How do you see leadership?
Mm. That's pretty important thing. Leadership is so important in this world. We don't put a lot of values on the things, but this is so important. So my point of view was, I was quite a bit fascinated by the situation leadership style, because I found like every time you move from one point to another, you see different situations. So as a leader, you need to be more open to adapt with the new situations first. Then probably you can follow some other leadership at the same time, like let's say parental leadership. So it's not, there is nothing something really set leadership style that's going to be ensuring you that you are a successful leader. That's why I always focus on my situation, my environment around me. Like, what is the demand of the environment? What is the component is coming up? What is the inputs in there? Then I design my style. What should I do? So situation leadership is always like kind of my favorite idea in terms of leadership, and it worked well um, throughout my experiences. So that's why I'm kind of like fascinated by the situation leadership.
Excellent. Right. And how do you approach problems, challenges, setback? What is your strategy to overcome those usually, or what kind of steps do you follow? If you want to share your
No, like definitely
practice.
fine. There's so many different ideas, so many different people. They're all talented. That's why I'm like kind of skeptic that should I tell my one. So it's not the best way to approach probably. But what I do, I think you see challenges, you hold your nerve, and try to go in deep. Like, what are the outcomes? So sometimes I make a calculation. Like, okay, if I don't say fail. Fail doesn't. I don't like this word like fail. There is nothing fail. Like, it's all about your learning. So I always say, okay, if the way I'm expecting, if it comes to me, then what is the highest gain? And for say, if it doesn't work, what is the lowest gain? Then I try to figure out like how much impact you have with that missing expectation. So are you ready to take that stress on you? Are you ready to take that load on you? Are you well equipped to handle that situation not meeting your expectation? If you say yes, so then I prefer like, okay, I should take that challenge, because I'm now ready for like the worst. Like we say word, who for the best, ready for the worst. So if you are equipped with that mindset, probably it's not going to come to as a challenge to you, because you are not bothering. You have the courage to move on with the initiative.
Inspiring. Right. And how do you deal with criticism?
Oh, I already probably I answered you. There's a lot of noises, right? So criticism comes through those noises, right? So why these noises? That's the question. So because something is happening unusual, you're doing something really different. So let them keep coming. So that's okay. You don't focus much on those things, and that's how you are built in. So noise is there. That's a good thing that you're trying something new. If you are innovative and you love to do something new, then you shouldn't feel any uncomfortable situation like, okay, why there is a lot of criticisms. There should be some criticism always. Without criticism, nothing happens. I don't know, in my opinion, in my experience, nothing happened without people's opinion and criticism, or the negative um, vibes, whatever you can call. I'm okay with.
Excellent.
I
Excellent.
don't think too much,
You,
to be
you
honest.
have such a growth mindset.
One more thing I want to share, because this is so there's growth. The word growth pain, right? So in the whole world, even an animal, even your baby, even your wife, even any kind of animal. So anything happen, anything changes. Whenever there is a growth pain. This is natural. If you don't have any pain, you are not growing. That means you are static, you are sitting in the same place. So whenever you go up, definitely there is some pain. And it's natural. You don't say, sometimes, whenever my wife was pregnant, sometimes people say, oh, how she's feeling, she's sick now. But she's not sick. This is natural. She's having a baby, and that's how the changes happen. Now the pain in there. So otherwise there is no pain. It's a natural. If you don't see the symptom of a pregnancy, that seems like it's not a good pregnancy, you know. So because there is a lot of hormonal change of the body of the girls, like the women, right? So it's natural. So whatever, it's a pain or it's a comfort, if it is natural, that's it's okay. Don't think too much. So whenever you are growing in a career, or whenever you are growing as a human body, there should be some growth pain. So if there is a growth pain, this is natural, this is okay. Don't think too much. That means it's working, it's good for you.
Wow, this is a great point. Yeah, that's what I indicated. Like, it's there has to have the growth pain, and it's to be aligned with your brain.
Right.
I mean, the quickest way to change the game is to change your brain. I think to accept it, right? It's going to be a bumpy ride, and you talked about nothing happened without people's opinion. I love it. Thanks, Ash. You have like inundated with your wonderful wisdom and insights. I really appreciate that.
Okay,
So,
but
Ash, why don't you tell us a little more about your daily rituals? You have been doing a lot of things consistently, I know. One or two secrets if you want to reveal today for our audiences.
I try to take some rest now. Every time, just get some idle brain. Now that's my focus, because like, what I no I shouldn't say that, like, okay, people is gonna be get lazy like me, if I told those. But you need to decide. Every age has some different stage of your lifestyle. So it's a career stage, it's a life stage. So you need to make sure, like, the metabolism changes. When the metabolism changes, when your mindset changes, when your focus changes. Like, at some point I had a focus of my career or something like this. Probably the focus has now on my family too much. Like, I love to spend time with my son. He's my inspiration. Like, I would say they, because I have like two kids. I'm really a family guy, in a sense that I feel like I'm quite a bit serious about them. I want them to have an organic life, not too much on their brain, have fun, enjoy the environment, the surroundings. That's it. But yes, I have to do my office regularly, and I'm a believer. I believe in God. I don't know how much practice I can do, not too much, uh, to be open. But everyone should have some kind of thought, their personal time. They can think about, they can focus on, they can reminiscence so many different things. So not much, to be honest. Working, having some time with my family, that is more important, but not that way people think. Probably I think is more important to spend time with family. So important.
Excellent. That resonates with my way of living life to a certain extent, and I'm sure many people will find similarities out of your shared points. Okay, so Ash, if I ask you another question, it might sound a bit cheesy, philosophical. What gives meaning to our lives, in your opinion?
Make yourself happy. Simple. Now do it. Just keep yourself happy. Like, it's infectious. I can even, I would say, try in your own way. If you meet someone who is not smiling, probably you don't smile, even though you have some reason to smile. If you meet someone who keeps smiling, you don't have much reason to smile, but still you smile. That's kind of psychological thing. You see the babies is smiling. If you just keep your smile off, the baby doesn't smile that much. Whenever you keep smiling, the baby smiles. So I learned those things from my sons. Like, it's infectious. Like, it comes like, if you touch, it's kind of a magic touch, magic behavior. You keep smiling, people keep smiling. You feel like stress, people feel like stress. It comes over. That's why I would say keep happy. And now you might have a question like, how do you keep happy, right? So there are a lot of things happening in the world, a lot of stress, a lot of war, economies having tough time, inflation. That's true, but you know that comes in your life. So one story I remember that relates to this situation. Whenever I was in class 5, still I remember the name of my teacher, Surjakanto sir. So one time in class 5, as a student, we were complaining so many different things, like because we missed the assignment in the class. So sir was telling, "Do you know the goose in the class?" We said, "Yes, sir, we know the goose." So he said, if you give water and milk in the same glass, mixed like one glass water and milk, the goose can only drink the milk. Do you know that? I'm not 100% sure. Do you know that?
I have no idea. It sounds
No.
very
So,
interesting.
good day. So what actually my teacher was saying, so it's a mix. The world is a mix of goods and bads. Now the goose
Hmm.
knows how to extract only the milk,
Hmm.
only drink the milk. She doesn't drink
Hmm.
the water, but it was mixed there. So you need to learn. You have to have your
Hmm.
skill that you only drink the good things, but it's mixed there. You need to take the
Wow,
milk
it's such a
out.
powerful insight.
Oh my God. You see, like, I was in class 5, still I remember. So teacher doesn't give you so much lesson.
Thank you for
Like,
sharing it, Ash.
you know? So, and even as a manager, like, like you get a lot of stress and everything. You are dealing with family, dealing with friends, dealing with surroundings, office, so many different things, different relationship, right? So the analogy comes, you have to be as a manager, like you are manager of your life, right? So as a manager, you have to be a duck. The duck is swimming inside like this, but how do we see the duck is moving smoothly there, but you are actually running a lot, like you are swimming a lot inside the water, right? So it shouldn't come out as a reflection that you are having so much tough time or so many things you are dealing with, you have so much stress, still you are managing to be a duck, just smoothly move around. Then people see, oh wow, there is no pain, no, there is no pain, and then they know sometimes you have some pain in your life, but still you are moving that way, they are motivated. Oh, he has like something more than me, but still he's relaxed, so why should I bother myself too much, right? So those are the things actually keep motivating me, like to be a duck. Sometimes I feel like I
Mhm.
have to be a goose to know how to drink only the milk, even though there's a mix. It's not a pure world, 100%. That's for sure.
Hmm. Wow, it's such a powerful insight. Thank you so much for sharing again. Right. We don't, I mean, there is an old saying, like, we don't live in a world full of bed of roses, right?
Right.
And there are issues everywhere. There are good parts, bad parts. So how do you extract the good part, leverage in our life, and keep on moving? So is it a matter of decision?
Oh yes.
Because goose or duck makes it look very simple. He or she was swimming, they were swimming probably a few minutes ago. Once they are out of the pond or the water, it seems like nothing happened. They are all dried up.
Right, because
And
it's a skill. Like, you are doing so much, but still you are smooth. Like with your decision, with your lifestyle, you are smooth with your dealings with people. You are keep laughing. You are having chat with people. You don't feel like deliver that people you are having so much pain. That's what I'm saying, like it's infectious. Like, sometimes if you show them you are on a lot of stress or I'm bothered, they get bothered too. Probably they are not having that relationship with you because of those things, because eventually
mm,
what our goal, like to have a part of this society, right? We wanted to
mhm,
each other, right? So have fun. You need to learn how to be
Yeah.
that duck, how to, you have to adapt that skill, how to be a goose, to take out all the good things from the like the dirty society. Like it's not like full of like all the pure things. Then you don't need to do anything, like it's not all your capacity. Like whenever you have $1 million, like you are a millionaire or you're a sheikh, you have a lot of money, you are buying a Lamborghini or something. It's not your capacity. Whenever you don't have much but you are earning more than that, like you are dealing with more than that, your lifestyle is more than that, that is your capacity. Capacity based on like how much you are capitalizing. It's an input and output, right? The productivity. So you have less
Mhm.
input, but you are making more output. That means you are showing more capacity. That's why the machine always has the details like capacity, horse capacity for like all this capacity. It doesn't really matter like how is the size. It's all about the capacity. So with the scarce resources you are doing more, that means you are capable. We, whenever we used to hire people, we don't want to see someone coming up all this, but how much they are putting their efforts, how much they are willing to contribute, how much they want to come out from their cocoon, like their box. So those
Mhm.
are important things, that you can build up. But if you already have so much, I mean, like that's not your capacity. I'm not underestimating like having much, but it's not a capacity judgment. That's what I'm saying. Capacity judgment comes whenever you come up with more than your resources that you are utilizing. That means you are bringing new ideas, you are bringing new process in place, you are bringing new things there that actually giving more output.
Excellent. You're very analytical, Ash. Just to give you another perspective, the global research and business consulting that we have, it's called Abunx. It's a combination of two words: abundance explored. And yeah, I know it sounds a bit cheesy, but the business philosophy behind this, that there is no shortage scarcity of resources on the planet Earth. Sometimes we don't know how to tap into those resources. For
Hmm.
instance, aluminium, once it was a very scarce metal substance, but science gave us that technology how to tap into that aluminium. It's not
Right.
that sexy, that attractive nowadays, right? And in so we are calling it, it's a prosperity mindset. The abundance mindset is equal to prosperity mindset, whereas the stuck mindset, or the I mean, the blindness, this is blindness. So as opposed to abundance mindset. So
Right.
since we believe this world is full of resources, so if my friends or my colleagues, my cousins or people that I know, if they get promoted, they have access to money, resources, information, physical information, financial information, or resources, or infrastructural resources, or some other resources, right? So there is no point of being uh, what should I say? There's no point of being sad or disappointed or hopeless that those are gone. No, there are plenty. So because we don't have all the answers, but we believe there are many. We are yet to explore
Oh,
those, and it's all about being
there is a lot.
open,
There is a lot.
right?
Yeah,
There
there's
is a lot. There
yeah.
is a lot.
Like big, you're in the ocean and then you are just getting a like one
Yeah.
stone, but you don't bother
Right.
say why I'm not getting that big stone. So there's a lot of opportunities. You don't feel like it's over. It's never, it never ends actually. Like the highest authority, they lose their job, the highest, or they resign, but still it keeps going. The organization is a process, is keep growing, and then it has the existence, right? So it never stops. So just think
Mm.
like how much you can extract. Don't think like, okay, how much I'm missing. So keep extracting. At some point you're gonna see you have a lot in your full,
Excellent.
like full hand.
It's a great advice. Thanks a lot, Ash. How much you can extract, and whether you can act like a duck, like a goose, like it's okay. Like let me extract the just good thing, the milk part, right, from the so-called dirty society, because it's dirty. It's beautiful because of people. It's dirty because of people, and so the best way is how we react to a particular situation and do our job, what we are supposed to do. Great. So Ash, we are approaching towards the end of our discussion. I wish we would we had more time to continue. I understand it's been 1 hour 20 minutes already. So
Yeah.
I have two more very quick questions.
Sure.
Ash, what advice? Please feel free to give that advice. You have
The
you
advice.
have for kids.
Here's some.
For kids,
You
any advice you have for kids,
know,
for children?
oh, for kids,
Yeah.
they are best ever in my life. I kept learning from them. That's why no advice for them. To be honest, like they keep giving us. I would just say sometimes, like we get bothered with our kids. They are not listening something. They are not doing whatever we are expecting sometimes as a parents. But I say something. I told my wife, I really understand. We have a lot of stress for our kids. They are not giving this. They are not doing this one. They might not doing this one. But have you ever thought that how much they are giving us? Sometimes I came from office. Probably there's something it's not working the way I was expecting. Something in life. But whenever I see them, I feel like fresh. So they are the refresher in your life. So they are not only taking from you, they are giving you so much, probably more than you were giving them. As a parents, it was your decision to bring them, but they came in. Now it's their decision whether they're gonna give you or not. But still they are giving, thinking nothing, thinking like twice. So they every move, like they move, you feel like, wow, my son. And every parents, I saw like a lot of my friends, everything, they keep posting their kids in the Facebook, social media, this and that. They are having, oh my god. So I thought that like, oh, I will be the best dad. But whenever I move to my friend, I feel like he's feeling like he's the best dad in the world. So it's common for everyone as a parent. So kids are giving so much. Please, uh, think that don't think like how much stress you are getting from the kids. Oh, I'm not having a good sleep for my kid. I'm not having a good chat with my friend. I'm not having a good discussion or a party or something I'm missing. But how much you are getting, you don't see that. They are giving you all this happiness, um, all this reason to be doing hard work, all these reasons to be putting extra efforts in your life. So no advice for them. I always look for advice from them, to be honest. And it's fresh advice from them.
Excellent. So what you said, these are very powerful, Ash. Ash, how do you want to be remembered?
Oh, it's tough. I don't know. I don't. Do I want to be remembered? That's a key question. I'm not sure, to be honest. This is my missing idea, to be remembered or not. Um, but yes, whenever you are alive, I always feel like to deliver something for people, for the society. I always try to be a part of their successful journey, even a bit. That's how I do feel like obliged. I'm like obligated to do something for someone. Whenever anyone asks for anything, I feel like, okay, why people is asking? So definitely the person is feeling confident on me, or the person has some expectation on me, or the person is thinking I am the right person to give them the idea or the advice or the help. So why not? So but to be remembered, I don't know. I don't work much on to be remembered in my life. No, but all those things if keep me remembered, so probably that's gonna help. But no goal to be remembered. No.
Thank you so much for your humility. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashraful Hasan. So, what an amazing conversation it has been. I have learned, I have enjoyed to the fullest, and the energy that you have spread, Ash, this is absolutely brilliant. And I don't know what keeps you going so much. And the way you started until the last moment, it's been around 1.5 hours. You're
My
still going with that speed, and as if like we can continue discussing for a little more, but we will stop here. I'm sure I hope you have also enjoyed as much as we have enjoyed, Ash, and
100%.
we can't wait to have you again in our future episode, and maybe we can have some technical discussion or some very specific discussion going forward. So, any last message you have for our audiences before we
Yes.
conclude today's discussion?
I'm really, really sorry. All this discussion, there should be something probably doesn't make sense to you, because I know every person is different, different lifestyle. Even they are the achievers. There are a lot of people. They are doing really, really great. I always thank them for their contribution. Even I sometimes I find them inspirational for myself too. That's why I said, like, probably I would be more comfortable to be in a classroom setting where actually it's gonna make more sense to the people, those who doesn't have much exposure to the world. But this is a social media. I know anybody can watch it. Anybody might come across to this video, but please, nothing to show you, nothing to say you. Is all about like my sharing. I love my friend. He's doing awesome. He's doing really, really great. So thank you very much for inviting me, Mustafiz. I know we started the journey at the beginning of our university life. It's almost like 20 years back. Time goes, it flies like hell. So anyway, so thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you very much for anybody who has the time, even for a minute, to listening us, having the patience. It's hard. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Ashraful Hasan. Thank you very much, dear audiences, for your time. Please feel free to get in touch, and Ashraful's profile is also there. Feel free to put
Please,
your comments and
you want.
be with us. And we are trying to build a community, and together we are stronger. Together is better. Thank you very much, everybody. Goodbye. Good
Thank
night.
you. Bye bye.
Cheers.
Good night. Bye bye.